Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaeli Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. It's your host, Kaeli here, and you are tuning in to episode number 285 as we are quickly approaching the fourth quarter of 2025. We are peering into a pivotal period of time in which, here's the reality, the decisions that you make or don't make for that matter today as a business owner will critically impact the results that you will achieve in 2026. And here's why. We are experiencing some leading indicators to economic slowing that will impact consumer behavior well into 2026, including tariff-related inflation pressures, monetary policy changes and bond market turmoil, rising federal budget deficits and fiscal restraint, weaker business investment and consumer confidence, and global economic and geopolitical tensions. And maybe you're feeling this already. Together, these factors will create a challenging environment for the U.S. economy toward the end of 2025, increasing the risk of slower growth or recessionary pressures as prices increase, accelerate, financial conditions tighten, and fiscal policy remains restrained. So what, in practical terms, does this mean for us as small business owners? Well, now is time to sharpen the pencil. And that means investing in strategic guidance, coaching, and advisory to optimize your revenue streams, reduce non-essential costs, and pivot your strategy now to be poised to capture market share in 2026. And lucky for you, our next 8 weeks at KLC and inside of the Fierce Factor Society are going to be your Harvard MBA of aesthetic education in internal marketing optimization, building loyalty and referrals from your most valuable customers, positioning your brand to be the obvious choice for recession-resilient consumers, and expanding your offers without the need for any additional investment into new products or services. I'll be making book recommendations and designing momentum guides to handhold you through this final quarter of 2025. And we are doubling down on live coaching experiences inside of the membership. You know, I remember going through 2020 with all of you, and truly it was the catalyst for the launch of our Pop Leadership Academy. I find it to be, and I believe it to be, my responsibility as a leader in this space to help you through this time. And remember that I have created a no commitment launch pad for $97 a month, in which case you will have access to hours of expert curriculum, premium resources, and a coach hotline for real-time access to strategic advisory. So if you aren't a society member yet, don't walk, run to the link in the show notes at klcconsultants.com/society to get yourself locked in for instant support. Or you can even DM me Society on Instagram and I'll send you the link to register directly. Leader, this is a no-brainer. One of the questions I'm asked on a regular basis is, how can I generate income that doesn't require more of my time? So perhaps you've asked yourself the same question. And most providers instantly think that they have to hire another employee or purchase another expensive device to make this happen. But the reality is there are a multitude of ways that your business can generate generally passive income. And I say generally passive because I don't believe necessarily that any income is passive. Passive income requires action. But if you put the proper amount of due diligence into designing a business plan that supports this and enough focus to growing this revenue stream until it's thriving, there's a lot of opportunity for you. I'm seeing more and more providers pivot to online coaching or making courses or launching academies, which, let's be honest, require a ton of time, money, and CEO brain power. If your goal this time of year, right, in 2025 and going into 2026 and through the season is to grow your aesthetic practice, to make passive income, and to optimize the results and satisfaction of your patients. Now is not the time to distract yourself with new ventures. Optimizing our existing revenue streams are going to be the way to go. And today I'm going to talk about the one strategy that you can optimize that's right under your fingertips, that takes very minimal investment, that could literally change the game for you in your business. And that's your strategy with retail. If you've been around a while, you may know my first entree into the aesthetic industry back in 2011 was working in skincare sales. And during that time, I had a front row seat into the nuances of retail sales. It was so fascinating to watch some practices dominate their sales and others really struggle. Same markets, same products, same ingredients, right? And the one significant difference between those who generate 10,000 a week in retail sales and those who generate 10,000 a year comes down to their prioritization or lack thereof of making consistent professional skincare recommendations in the treatment room. It's actually that simple. Think about your business. Do you wish you had better retail sales? Most people tell me they do. So now think about how much focus do you put into this division of your business? If you're really honest with yourself, probably not nearly as much as you do your aesthetic injectable business or your wellness business. Most owners throw some product on the shelf and cross their fingers that someone sees it at checkout, or the commission that they're paying their esthetician or their guest service team is enough to motivate them to sell product. But could you imagine if that was your strategy in recommending Tox or Sculpture or GLP-1s? Of course not. So if you're telling me you don't believe retail should be a primary area of focus for your business, I want you to think again. The US skincare market is estimated to generate about $24 billion with a B in annual revenue in 2025, based on forecast and recent data from industry analysis such as Grandview Research and Archive Market Research. Skincare is a significant and growing segment within the beauty economy. No surprise there. Skincare spending in the US is sizable and steadily expanding, representing a really critical opportunity and investment area within personal care and beauty industries. But let's take it a step further. According to the Klein Physician Dispense Skincare Perception and Satisfaction Survey, physician office purchases represent a significant retail channel in the U.S. professional skincare market, with medical care providers being the leading distribution channel. About 1/4 of dispensing physicians generate over 15% of their revenue from the sales of skincare products. So this is indicating that a sizable portion of skincare purchases are made directly in physician offices rather than traditional retail stores. And before you guys start asking me, what's the average, what percentage of skincare should represent my total book of business? Do better. I really advise you to not look at an industry average and to try to think about where you can do better month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year. If you're at 20%, are you happy with that? How can you do better than that, right? So, and if you're below that, how can you do better than where you are? The study essentially that I just shared with you suggests that there's a strong consumer preference for physician dispensed skincare products. Why? Because consumers increasingly buy skincare from their providers because they perceive these products to be more effective and clinically validated. Obviously, they receive personalized guidance and treatment plans from trusted professionals, and they can access prescription strength or exclusive formulations that are not available in retail. So buying from your skincare professional or medical provider also reduces safety concerns for sensitive or medically treated skin. It aligns product use with in-office procedures for better outcomes, and it offers convenient point-of-care purchases and benefits from the provider's education and credibility that justify higher prices. So listen, leader, in a shifting economy, retail is one of the lowest investments that you can make with a solid 100% margin right off of the shelf. So think about your skincare sales last month. What if you were to 10x that number? Would that make an impact on your business? The average med spa in the US Here you go. You're welcome. For the average, it generates approximately $25,000 a month in skincare sales. That's $300,000 per year. Now, what if just by restructuring the way you package your skincare, you could double that number? That would be $600,000 per year in quote unquote passive income. Think about what you could do with an extra $600,000 a year that doesn't require any additional hours in the treatment room, doesn't require more staff, doesn't require more marketing, right? You could hire another full-time provider, take a few extra days off, right? This opportunity is right under your nose. So let's talk about what's holding you back from crushing the retail game in your practice. It's probably not what you think. Number one is you're not making enough professional recommendations. I hear all the time, my team doesn't want to sell. So essentially what you're telling me is that you're employing people who don't believe in the products that you believe will help patients with their aesthetic goals, protect their investments into your practice, and support their skin health. Making professional skincare recommendations is not selling. It's being an ethical provider who aims to provide optimal results for their patients. There's no selling needed. The sale is just an exchange of value. So if you've properly educated the patient to understand the value of the recommendation that you make, the cost will be irrelevant. So the cross our fingers and wait for someone to ask about a product at checkout strategy is not a strategy. Recommendations need to be made first in the treatment room and then the loop closed at checkout. So the bottom line is this: if your professional skincare is not being professionally, clinically recommended, don't expect professional results. Number two is that your business model doesn't support the retail strategy. Most business owners who come to us for help with their retail strategy, they're just confused. They have created some wonky version of a blended strategy that's difficult to manage, track, and generate profit from. I want you to think about coming to market with a clearly defined structure behind your retail strategy. Here are three of my favorite in order from least to most favorite, but I do love them all. Number one is a membership model. A patient who pays into a membership that has a monthly fee allowing them to purchase either at a nominal discount or to add value toward retail purchases. If you are going to build a retail membership, I recommend that there be some kind of a monthly or quarterly recurring product recommendation built into it. So, for example, you might have patients sign up for a 1-year skincare membership that gets them 20% off their quarterly system or a curated package of products. But they must commit to the annual membership to receive these discounts. And you could even include a quarterly pickup party or a fun way of delivering these to the patient when they come in for treatments. The second strategy would be a fee-for-service model. Now, notice I didn't say fee for products, fee for service. So this is where you build a long-term treatment plan or a custom care plan that includes skincare consultation, maybe a Visia or some sort of imaging system analysis that shows the patient that their skincare is working. They are working with your provider toward a specific result with skincare, and they're paying for the skincare expertise / treatment plan, etc. And a budget for skincare is sort of baked into that program. So for example, each month the program includes a consultation, facial or treatment, and a $250 credit towards skincare. The marketing for this is to the service, not to the products. The products are just a required part of the service maintenance. Okay, this part is important. The third and my favorite would be outcome bundles. So you'd have a menu of services that treat the patient concerns, such as acne, anti-aging, brightening, or lifting, you name it. And these packages come at a set price with treatments and products all wrapped into the investment. So this approach allows you to clearly map out a goal with the patient, set proper expectations of what these packages would include up front, and you can use your own mix of products, services, etc., to put together these proprietary packages. This is really amazing because it takes the sales pressure off of your providers and doesn't really give the patient room to negotiate things in and out. It's just what the package includes. The total treatment investment could be paid in full for a discount or split into monthly payments. So having a clearly defined business plan like these prevents patients from going to search for the products you recommend online or elsewhere because they're already bundled into their investment. Finally, let's talk about the third roadblock you have in your retail strategy. And it's this: you have too many product lines and competing ingredients. If you get sold on the latest and hottest products every time a rep steps foot into your practice, you're risking becoming one, over leveraged on inventory, and two, confusing team members and patients. Be the practice that invests in education and testing, selling proven products that work versus what someone tells you patients are going to ask for, right? They're going to ask for whatever Kylie Jenner has. If you're constantly following trends, you're not going to be the expert. You want to be the authority. Educate yourself and your team up so they're confident and capable of explaining to the patient why something that might be quote unquote hot right now isn't the best for their skin physiology or to complement their personal outcomes and goals. I recommend picking a core company to work with and then letting them pour support into you. Of course, you may have a couple different lines or a few hero products here and there, but until you are generating a significant amount of revenue with your existing inventory strategy, too much diversification will splinter your team's focus on selling products that they intimately know and use and create a confusing situation for patients who see new products on the shelf every time they come in when you swore up and down that the last thing you recommended was the hottest on the market. So be the expert, not the marketer. And number 4 is that you need better tools. Make it seamless for your team to recommend products. Create a long-term care plan. Gamify it if you want. Give incentives for patients whose Vizia or scan shows that they're improving month over month. Get on Canva and create a custom prescription pad so the patient can walk to the front and ask the front desk to pull the products that they have been prescribed. Put a system together that makes it feel customized and luxurious. Maybe a glass of cucumber water and a lavender towel at checkout on a wooden board with the products that were recommended. Remember that consumers love leaving with something in their hand. Think about yourself when you go to the mall. Are you happier when you leave with something or not? Get all the resources from your reps. Building a strong relationship with your good reps can be game-changing. Another reason to double down on a really great product line. They can help you with promotions, free products, events, training, ideas, all of the things. You just need to make it a focus. P.S. If a rep did send you this podcast, you've got a winner right there, just saying. And share this with your team members. Ask them for some of their own ideas and how you can work as a team to make Q4 of this year your biggest retail quarter yet. But here's the thing. It can't just be about the plan. You need to create a system for implementation and accountability. You have to make this your focus and you will see results. So here's why retail is just hot right now. And I don't just mean skincare, I mean supplements, I mean all the things. Every single patient is a candidate. So you don't have to worry about trying to go through the fuss of identifying, qualifying, having the whole rigmarole with the patient. There's something for everyone. It's easy to gift. It's easy to recommend to others. It packages up pretty. It's something tangible. It's an amazing something to walk out of the practice with and to make recommendations for them to gift to other people. It's the lowest risk investment for a consumer. So it builds trust. Skincare gets patients coming back into the practice. Retail can double your revenue per hour in like 5 minutes. It makes patients happier when they leave your practice. Skincare reps are honestly the best in the business, the good ones. They aren't prowling to sell you another piece of equipment that you can't afford. I say this as a caveat so you understand. I've been a skincare rep and a laser rep, so I don't sweat the game. I'm just saying when you are focused on collaborative growth, right? When a practice grows, rep grows, right? Therefore, they're incentivized to continue helping drive skincare utilization in your practice. They have to get creative, okay? And you know that they'll work their butt off. Another reason is that retail creates community. Consumers, they really don't want to go to a retailer for product. They want to be part of a club. Think about Sephora when you get to go there and have the experience. You join the membership. Skincare can bring people together. It can be a place where you can have events and people can connect and collaborate. There's a lot of creative things you can do with skincare. And then finally, retail can be a recurring revenue stream that supports predictable income in an unpredictable climate. So this should be your go-to, grab off the shelf, instant serve, add value, deliver to patients and build trust with them in no time at all. So if you're wondering how to boost retention, referrals, and income this quarter, sign up for the Fierce Factor Society to join us live this week or get access to the replay on September 30th for our Insider Masterclass, Create an Experience to Increase Retention and Referrals. We'll be taking conversations like today to the next level, and inside you'll have access to the tools, audits, and deep dive resources to optimize your business this quarter and set your business up to thrive in 2026. Don't just sit back and watch the market shift. Now is the time to double down on the opportunity between your four walls. Leverage the talent you have and optimize your income with the tools, products, and services that are readily available to you. Consumer behavior may be shifting, but so are you. Take the lead, be the authority, educate, demonstrate, and role model for your patients that their goals are important to you. They are worthy of achieving them, and you will not settle for less until they do. So here's my challenge. Download our resource in your Fierce Factor Society Momentum Guide and schedule a role play for each team member to walk through and recommend their favorite skincare regimen to the team at your next meeting. It'll be fun. Have the team rank each member on a scale of 1 to 10 on how compelling their clinical recommendation was and what they most admired and what they could have said to be more effective in their delivery. Compile a list of team best practices, print and hand out at the following meeting. Reward the winner with a new product of their choice. And finally, be sure to repeat this exercise to evaluate how each team member has improved. Let's make Q4 your most fruitful skincare season yet. Okay, leader, I can't wait to hear your results and watch you crush your passive income after taking this proactive leap to building this infrastructure. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will chat with you same place, same time next week.
Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling, and part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working across the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to kaelcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, goddess.